Last episode, I asked you what one artifact could possibly connect General Superintendent Dan Teters, Pan American Airways, Wake Island, the Japanese invasion, and the Christmas dinner that never happened. Well, today we are revealing the answer, and I think you'll agree. This is one of the most emotional World War II artifacts I've ever had the privilege of owning. Hey, welcome back to our Who, What, When, and Where mystery series. If you haven't seen part A yet, I encourage you to stop and go back and watch that one first, because today's reveal completes one of the most remarkable stories from the opening weeks of World War II. Without further ado, let's take a look. This, my friends, is an original Wake Island Christmas dinner menu. It was prepared for Christmas Day, December 25th, 1941, a dinner that was never served. Only 2 days earlier, on December 23rd, the exhausted defenders of Wake Island were forced to surrender after courageously resisting repeated Japanese attacks. Instead of gathering around holiday tables, Marines, civilian contractors, Pan American employees, and other personnel became prisoners of war. The celebration that had been planned simply never happened. Yet somehow this menu survived. And because it survived, it tells a story unlike any other artifact. Take a closer look at this remarkable piece. Imagine sitting in the Pan American Hotel dining room on Wake Island just weeks before the war. The menu reflects the optimism and hospitality that existed before everything changed. As you read through each course, it's impossible not to wonder what conversations would have taken place around those tables. Who was expected to attend? Who helped prepare the meal? How many people looked forward to sharing Christmas together? Instead, history took an entirely different path. This simple menu became frozen in time, not because of what happened, but because of what never happened. That's what makes artifacts like this so incredibly powerful. One of the questions I receive most often regarding this piece is, how did you find something like this? Every artifact has two stories, the historical story and the collecting story. This menu came into my collection from a noted military historian and collector, Tom McLeod. Tom acquired it directly from Dan Teters, the General Superintendent of Wake Island, before the Japanese occupation. That documented chain of ownership, known as provenance, is incredibly important. It connects this artifact directly to one of the men responsible for overseeing Wake Island during one of the most significant moments in American history. Knowing exactly where an artifact came from helps preserve not only its authenticity, but also the human story behind it. To me, that history is every bit as valuable as the artifact itself. When people think of World War II, they often picture battles, weapons, aircraft, or famous generals. But sometimes the most meaningful artifacts aren't weapons at all. Sometimes they're ordinary objects, such as this menu, a photograph maybe, or even a letter. These everyday items remind us that before war interrupted their lives, people were planning for tomorrow. They were preparing for Christmas, looking forward to spending time with friends and family, sharing a meal. This menu represents hope, and it reminds us just how quickly peace can disappear. And as Paul Harvey would say, now you know the rest of the story. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed yet another edition of Who, What, When, and Where. If this artifact fascinated you as much as it fascinates me, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear if maybe you've seen another Wake Island Christmas menu. or if you own an artifact whose story is even more remarkable than the object itself. Again, thank you for joining me as we preserve and share these incredible pieces of history. If you enjoy authentic World War II artifacts, forgotten stories, military collecting, and historical research, please like and subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Until next time, I'm Brandon, your host with Gung Ho Militaria, reminding you that every artifact has a story, and sometimes the story behind the artifact is the greatest treasure of all.